Welcome back, everybody. Hope everyone's all right out there. We will be continuing. Obviously, we've had to do various bits and pieces since we were last on, so I have been flying around the map a bit, so I won't be in exactly the same position that we left in. Not a lot I can do about that, unfortunately, but apart from that, we're making our way towards the RV. We will use the key that we've got and continue, but first of all we're going to need a fire. Volume up. This is a easy hit. Big house down here, isn't there? And then there's barn over there. Smaller properties. Okay. Damn, I wonder if anybody's living in it. People often are, they use this area a lot. That's massive. That means now our footwear, which is really good. Makes life easier. Hi there, Paul. How are you? Today we are on GoblinZ, which is my own survival server. I say my own, I mean, I pay the rent and set it up, but others do play. Oh, here we bloody go. That's static. So it's a survival server with PvP, base building, raiding. Hi, Ryan. Graphic issues. That's all right. They should turn up soon enough. Candy cane, bit of food. We will need a fire once we've dealt with this wolf problem. You okay, Paul? But yeah, we'll be on GoblinZ tonight. Basically. No cookie tonight. It is just moi. This is cookies on date nights on Thursdays. So we're instead going on to a solo server. Okay, that's dealt with. So this is the server I've built myself for the community. That works. There you go. Basically, it's a PC solo base building, raiding, survival server where the temperatures are a lot lower, so you need more fires. Food is harder to find. not only do players want to kill you, but the environment certainly does. But it's not PvE, it is a PvP server. So if you meet someone, you can kill. And you should think about killing. Because... that's damaged. That's damaged. Over mine. No, swap to that one. So we're a little bit more... It's a different experience. It's you against the server and players, but mainly the nightmare that I try and build. We've been running these servers for a year now, on and off. Oh no, we have been running them for a year, but with different map wipes. But we're now staying on Chernarus. Wolves got me good the other night. Empty day, whole AK mag, never saw blood. Died with a wolf in front of me. I'm guessing I was seeing about 5 seconds behind. Okay. Are you enjoying the server, Ryan? Because you do play it, don't you? I'm planning the next wipe, obviously, for 9 weeks' time, 8 weeks' time. A whole new experience. Well, not a whole new experience. We'll still be on Chernarus. We'll still be on the same sort of mechanics that are happening on here. Just we're doing things slightly differently. Probably going to summer next wipe. But a hot summer. Turning it so it's like really hot. So you have to hydrate all the time. And the last thing you'll want is a fire. Making it so the fire will overheat you really quickly if I can get it to work properly. That's the idea anyway. So we're going to need a fire now before we progress much further. Otherwise we'll catch a cold and we'll die. Because it is a Goblin server. Just hit restart, but figured you'd be going live, so stayed off. Thanks, Ryan. Yeah. Thursdays I normally do. If Cookie's not about, I'm normally on here. Cookie is about, then we'll normally be on Aftermath. But I see my runs on here as more of a sort of an advert of what we do, what we have. So players can see what's available. And we're just working slowly through the key cards at the moment, aren't we? That's what we're basically doing. I started fresh on the coast, about 10k from my base, down to 8k now. It's a hard push when you die. It's a hard push in. It's not so hard once you're established, but once that initial bit is difficult. And that's good. It makes people make different choices, hopefully. See, now that's a problem. We need heat like yesterday. Now it's too cold to light a fire. We need to come back and find a house. We need to find a house. We know this once you get cold is, well, you watch my health just drink away. And when you first spawn in as a freshie on this server, it's a bitch. Yeah, it's a blessing and a curse. Yeah. It's like, yeah, I've got food. Oh, I need water. Yeah. But that's very me. Let's, if I'm going to give you a positive, because obviously I tried it without the food and it was too difficult. You just couldn't get a start, and that's going too far, because players have to have a chance. Players have to have a chance, basically. Oh, is that light lit? Yes. Good. Let's work through some of our stuff that we need to do. So that can be eaten. Good. Right, let's do some repairing. Okay, mag needs repairing. Gloves won't repair, that's okay. Right then. Okay, up. We'll eat that one. I know you're ill, mate. I know. We need to try and fight this cold off before it kills us. Let's see if we can get a little bit of sleep and see if that will help. It might allow us, it might not. Who knows? Going up, that's good. I sort of realised we might have to ditch some weapons as well because we're running out of space. That's our temperature up as much as we're going to get. Sorry, up as much as we're going to get. We've got one tetra left. Do we use it now? Yeah, we do. Shotgun ammo, we're just taking the ammo, aren't we? We don't essentially need it. that up there. Gloves. Oh no, we can move that up there. Which, drop that down, take the AK up there. They can be got rid of. We can eat the candy cane. Get a little bit of food off it. Okay, 3 symbols, we're good to go. I know it's not ideal. Mag being dumped because it's DayZ. Up there. Check that dead in case there's anything on him of usefulness. Rope's always useful, that means we can fish in an emergency. It doesn't really need searching. We're here for a reason, and that's that camp there. Okay, push up and in. I know sort of the route I'm taking in here, and I know I'm going to get wet. You don't have a choice. This is like a hardcore official, basically. My own server. It's official on steroids. Right, and this is what we really came here for. Don't care about that. That's the important bit. The next key, which is Northeast Airfield. Northeast Airfield? HQ, Northeast Airfield. So MP5. Silencer. 2 spare boxes of ammo. That will get us past these Zeds. Clear. We've got nothing with us. Zombie coming. Right, Northeast Airfield, next RV. Oh nice, those first few months of learning the game are a blast. They are... It's... Yeah, the first few months are amazing, aren't they? But this, yeah, this is vanilla on steroids. If you can survive the vanilla, you can survive this, apart from it's a lot colder. Basically. Let's be honest. We just make it colder and we put in some quality of life shit. So, back to the airfield. So, miles to go. Once I've used up the heckler cock, then I'll spin it off because the pistol's better. And it's just unnecessary weight that I don't need. I'll carry the silencer though. The silencer's worth having. On for the next key. So the idea of these keys is they get progressively different places, you get different loot, and eventually it takes you to end game. And on this server, end game is either a one tapper or explosives to raid people with. So it's about a progression up through. If you die, obviously you go back to having to find key number 1 again. So it's about having a base, keeping your key secure, or just going off on an adventure. And it's something to do when you're ready to start looking at blowing up down people's doors, because if you want to blow down someone's doors, you need explosives. And rather than have explosives spawn all over the place, we've made it so people have to go through a series of hoops to get there. Challenges. From my perspective as a server writer, I suppose that's the right word, it's about drawing players into potentially conflict with each other. Because you want people to not fall out, but have the chance of PvP. And then each wipe, I experiment with different things, not to make it harder each wipe, but to see if there's other things we can do to make it more of a challenge. And sometimes we get things right. You know, this wipe we got something wrong. At the beginning of wipe, there was too many of these available to everyone. So people were all using them. So I needed to reduce the amount that were available. Which we have done. So now you have to get to tier 4 areas to get them, or get them out of crates, which makes more sense. So you're living off the land up to that point. So if we were wiping today or new players coming in, it is a harder challenge than someone that's been here since day one. But next wipe, it will be the same level of challenge for everyone, myself included. And I'm looking at next wipe and what we bring in and what we take out and things that we change. Yeah, I like the idea of taking out players that rejoice in looting freshies. The freshie thing's is difficult. So, if you play on hardcore servers, a freshie is a bandage, is an item of food. If you cut them up, is a fishing kit. So killing a freshie, you've got gloves, you've got a bandage, you've got an item of fruit, and you've got a rope, and a bone hook, which means you can pretty much survive. Kino, let's stay clear of there. Do not need the Z trouble, but also you never know whether there's players in there. It's known as a good place to get loot. At some point, I'll do a run, Paul, actually on official, but just to show you how I do it. Everyone's different. I really do need to do a starting. If you're playing on official, this is how I would play it to get established type video. And all I've done here is really taken official, added in things that I think the game should have, and then dropped the temperature massively. That was my aim here. I can't stand cannibal players. That's my thing. When you find somebody laughing because they've eaten human flesh, that's a you should take them out moment for me. We make bears harder, because they should be. We bring in, like official, you don't have a map unless you find a map. But unlike official, if you find a map, you can just press M and put waypoints down. So it's a quality of life. I have code locks on here and in a better base building mod slightly than vanilla. I have an easy flagpole. There is a line. There is a line. It also depends what you're playing. So if I'm playing, say, Aftermath, where Aftermath is a hardcore PvP, base building, raiding, and everything else server, if I see a player on the beach, I will take him out. And if he sees me on the beach, he will take me out. We're all fair game. But that's because that's the type of server it is, and it's expected. But if you were building a base near the beach overlooking spawn grounds, that would be a line that I think would be going too far. Why are we running with the AK? We're sensible. A couple of things we need to do. One, we had picked up a spare AK mag, didn't we? So if we open up the 5.56, well, 5.45, don't know what that is in normal language. And then load that mag. That means we've got a spare mag, which then reduces the slots we're taking up, which is sensible. Whereas if I was playing official, the other problem is, and it's a really difficult judgment call. You see someone that's just got a t-shirt on and a pair of pants. You don't know whether in that t-shirt they've got a sawn-off shotgun. You go, all right, freshie, yeah, just starting off. And he says, oh, do you have any weapons? You go, no, and he shoots you in the face. But you made the initial contact and told me you didn't have any weapons. You just don't know. So that's what I love about DayZ. It's that who knows what's going to happen moment. Sometimes you'll do it and you'll make friends, you'll go on an adventure together. The next time you do it, you'll try and kill each other. And let's be honest, I'm known for trying to kill people. I'd rather go down fighting than lose my gear. On here, if I met someone, because this is a survival server, I would probably shoot to kill. Because it's a harder server. And by that very nature, they might have food on them. At times, it does not match good. I've learned to stop being too nice. Yes. So, obviously, when I run in teams, you know who's in your team. Nobody knows what anyone is like. No, they don't. DayZ's very... Forget the zombies. DayZ is very real life. I love the fact that they've made a game that's years old now, but the only thing you have to do is try and survive. Yeah, I think we've all died trying to be nice in DayZ. But very sometimes, just sometimes, you're nice and it pays off. Cookie and I, when we first started playing Aftermath, we were on an event on Aftermath, like, so they have Capture the Lighthouse, for want of a better word. And we weren't really armed, and this whole big armed team came in, and we were like, oh, guys, we ain't got any guns, we're just about to win it, but obviously you're going to win it, you can take the event. And they were like, all right. So they won the event, and then afterwards they went, look, we've left some weapons up there and some food for you, good luck, and left. Yeah? Now, they really didn't have to do that. And then we bumped into them later on, and I think they might have killed us. Yeah, because you don't know who you... But then you're playing on a server with 100 people that all want to kill each other. So it's very, very rare that happens. Equally, Cookie and I, when we steal a helicopter in Aftermath, we'll fly it to the trader, and we'll hand it over to the next person we see that wants a helicopter. Anyone in here a freshie? Yeah, I am. Why? There's a heli for you. Do you want any fresh meat on me? I need some, actually, don't I? Got a long run to the next RV. Yeah. Oh, here we fucking go again. I also recognise that on here things are slightly different. You know, you might meet someone when you're a freshie on the beach trying to get a fire going, and you might help each other out because it's quite difficult. But then you probably go your separate ways because you wouldn't want them knowing where you live, and you'd love to know where they live. So it would be, how do we help each other at the beginning and then lose each other? See, I'm recognising the fact that, you know, my character now is going to need food soon, and I can't keep using my MREs. So does that mean that we need to start thinking about going home to restock of food en route to the airfield? Probably. So it's a different choice to make. Oh yeah, and that's the thing with official. Oh god, that's where I am. So on Aftermath, I died here, didn't I? 2 nights ago. I died up in that bush up there. This was... someone was living in here and we were doing a raid. Cookie and I were trying to push in. He was on the beach running up and I died. Someone had this as their base. Yeah, so I think, on reflection, we're going to push for home. So we'll take the RV off. And then if I die, I don't lose that position. We're going to push, yeah, we're going to push for home. Sort our lives out and then move up to the next objective. So I need to drop stuff off, pick stuff up, put the flag up, I haven't been there for a week. Get stuff done, basically. And then move out. So if anybody's watching and they're interested in playing on this server, there's a link for it on the screen now. And if you're interested in joining our Discord, you'll find a link on the chat now. There are laws against stalking. It's only a recce. Help them on the coast and sneakily follow them home. Yeah, because if you can work out where someone's base is, especially either because you want to raid them, or if someone's got one door and you can shoot them just as they open that door, you've got access to everything they have until they get back there. As long as you don't shut the door behind you and lock yourself in. And the thing with the GoblinZ server is, because we don't have massive rucksacks, because it's vanilla, because you don't have a lot of space, everything slows right down like vanilla. Yeah, if they don't mind helping, that's fine, I've learned. But not to outstay my welcome. Recce's are always necessary. Yeah. I very rarely, so not so much this wipe, because Cookie and I are late to Aftermath, and Chuckles actually, I keep saying Cookie and I, but Chuckles is in the team as well. But if we're there on wipe day, we'll establish a base, and then straight away we start trying to find where all the enemy bases are around us and try and raid them before they establish themselves, because we want to move those players on. We do not want people living near us, because obviously a higher risk of being killed is every time you leave base if someone lives down the street and you're both going for the same point to loot all the time. But we'll be on Aftermath tomorrow evening. And then I'll be back on this Saturday. And then Sunday will be a split between this and Aftermath. So I recognise that I'm going to lose that plus in a symbol. We're going to need to eat again. But we might actually go for the fox meat this time, because we haven't had a good feed that's not MREs for a while. Or do we use up the MREs? Because the 3 fox steaks will take up the same space. No, fox will go off. MREs will survive. So GoblinZ say next wipe we're not going to have a trader. So it'll become even harder. That'll be the new level of pain. Everything. Every item you'll have to find. But we'll allow players bigger bases. rather than 5 code locks, we're going to increase the amount. I don't know how many yet. Because if you have to find every item and you can't just loot, buy and sell, you want to be able to secure your items better. And raiding will become more relevant because you'll want to take other people's stuff. I haven't quite decided yet whether we're going to let people build anywhere or force them to build outside. I'm still working that one out in my head. But that might happen as well, so no building in houses. Force people to build boxes in the woods or on a field or wherever, so they're a bit more covert. But that's not for another, what are we now, 3 weeks in? So nine weeks tomorrow, White, of this server. And probably move to a very hot summer at that point. So we'll increase the grass, we'll make the grass like 1/2 meter high. So you can hide in the grass, we'll increase the temperatures, so when you light a fire during the day you overheat. And a fire at night takes you straight into yellow. So if you want to cook an animal, you have to think about it. You know, I'm going to get injured because I need to cook. I think the problem is that if you check everything in DayZ, it would take forever. So you sort of make calculated guesses. And a lot of people don't think tactically. They just play it as a shooting game. You know, I'm not a... we all know that my PvP skills aren't amazing. I've got arthritis in both hands. In winter, my reaction times are slow. My hands don't work properly all the time. And it can be hard going. So, I'm more likely to be scanning an area before I run in. Wouldn't always check everything, but maybe I had looked for signs of the zombies. Have the zombies reacted? Can I see a flag up anywhere? Is there any natural sign? Seeing a door open means nothing, because on a server restart, random doors are opened and closed by the server. But seeing every door open in a town tells you players have been through. If wipe was half an hour ago, they've been through in the last half an hour. Yeah? So I'm looking for ground sign. Oh, more than clearing every building. Also, you could be looking for certain items. So if I was off searching for code locks and nails, I wouldn't be going into places that don't have code locks and nails. Oh no, Goblin reference arthritis. It's life. You know, I'm 53 in August. I'm ex-army. My body's been abused for 30 years of my life. You know, 35 years probably of my life. It's life. It's not as bad as some people have it, but in winter I can feel it. At the moment, as long as I stay warm and stay reasonably hydrated and stay on the painkillers, it's alright. Summer I'm okay. But I realise it's never going to cure, is it? It's only ever going to get better. But I can, yeah, I'm alright with it. It's certain times I notice it more. When I've driven a long way with work and my hands clench up, if I'm gaming for a long time, which is why I play a lot. So obviously Cookie and I on Aftermath, you have auto run, makes it easier. On here we don't, but it's alright. I don't mind. I get it. You know, bodies were, let's be perfectly honest about this, we were meant to be eaten by dinosaurs or saber-toothed tigers in our mid-30s. Yeah. We were never biologically designed to last to our 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. You know, the people that did were the arguably probably the leader of the tribe that was looked after by everybody. And I don't have a particularly amazing diet or amazing lifestyle. You know, I realise where I am on the food chain. But as long as you enjoy life, what does it matter? Okay, I'll look that up after the stream. Thank you. I do take 3 sort of multivitamin supplements that of different types of thing to help with joints and calcium and the rest of the stuff. I don't know if I notice any different really, but I try. Right, we're going to need a fire soon. So what we got with a house? Either there. Oh, really? So probably there. Yeah. Got a Discord message. Let me just check it. We're going to push over the top of the hill. We'll get a fire going before we start losing temperature. Otherwise we'll catch a cold and then we'll die on here. It's the last thing we want. Because we're doing reasonably well. Reasonably well being a... Reasonably well on the Goblin server means you're alive. Especially early days. And I've got some dastardly things planned for next wipe. So I was saying we're getting rid of Trader. First major thing. It's going to make life a lot harder for people. But I'll increase nails and code locks that spawn in the world because we're getting rid of Trader. I'll probably put some more loot crates in that are base building loot crates because we're getting rid of Trader. But you'll find a key and then you'll push for it. But that doesn't mean there'll be hundreds of them. So you might be hundreds of keys. Well, not hundreds, but there might be 20 keys on the coast. Because then there's more of a chance of 2 of you going for the same crate at the same time. And by a loot crate, it might have 1 box of nails in. Yeah. You got to remember that a young goblin left the army in 94 and then spent the 90s and early 2000s raving for every weekend, hitting clubs, and was massively into trance music and Ibiza and such like, and all that goes with it. And then he calmed down and stopped drinking and going out every weekend and started gaming. He hasn't looked after himself. He thinks a healthy meal involves 2 different types of meat and gravy. And I still think like that now. To me, potatoes are vegetables, in which case they're part of your 5 a day and they're good for you. Up here, that should, we've just passed something on the road. Anything on the road. Hi Bimmy. No, this is just a split, isn't it, in the path. Bugger. Right, so we need to hit that hut there for a fire. Or we have light one outside. I'm reluctant. Is it snowing? Wind's alright. Feel something here at some point. Yeah, so as I was saying, like next wipes, certainly get rid of trader. That's gone. Harder bears, but a different type of harder bears. Up the amount of code locks people are allowed, but lower the amount of bases they're allowed. Because if you've got no trader, it'll mean raiding people becomes more important because you'll need loot. Increase the amount of different quests, in inverted commas, you can go on with loot with keys and quests. Keep in the photographs. Maybe we'll get rid of the photographs, but we'll keep the survivor missions in. I'm not going to add vehicles. We're going to stay as we are. Probably have it slightly easier to get vanilla, slightly larger backpacks, but with the mod that we're replacing, the weapons mod we've got this time, we'll have better weapons. Yeah, we all grow up eventually. Thank you. Don't get me wrong, I still love a night out. But if I go out now on a... Say we have a works night out on a Thursday, I need to book the Friday and Monday off work to recover. Oh, it's starting to get windy, which means we're about to hit storm conditions, which means we really need to be in a house. And getting this food cooked. Right then. Yeah, we don't need that. Don't really need that. Battery. Need to keep 9mm boxes. That's died now. That will go better in there. That's 3 lots of food. That's there, and then that will free up that space. Okay, happy with that. Okay, so we're going to need a house. Oh, I'm pleased I enjoyed myself. I loved life. We're going to need a property to build it to get a fire going in. With there, so I reckon about there, maybe. Bimmy's bear traps. Then we're known for them. But then I can't say anything. People know that I drop landmines off if I get a chance. Next wipe, guys, you're going to have access to stun grenades. Of all things. Right, this looks good for a fire. So let's get some wood together. But long stick. Do with the rest of that logs, because we want to get this food cooked and we want to get 3 symbols again, because this is going to be one of those windy days, isn't it? Gather some firewood. That should be the second log. Nice. Got some magazines to clean. Right. First of all, that on there. get a firelighter made. That there, get that there. That lit. That one on there, that one on there, and that one on there. Get that magazine cleaned. How about a Chinook lift to do a raid on a group of cannibals or those that grow drugs? I can't really say anything on the drug growing in game because we've all been on servers where it's the only way to survive. But the cannibals, hell yeah. My other gats need a clean. Yeah, my SKS needs cleaning. My Mosin needs cleaning. Food cooked. And one of those water bottles needs heating up. It won't heat up from it, it'll heat up from there. That's okay. So put it in there first to start the cooking process off, and then it will cook quicker in here. Cool. Being good. Spare silencers. Good. Sorted. Nice having some spare 9mm. That done. Right, let's get some sleep and try and boost some of that. Not going to be able to get a lot because it's daytime, but it might get us back up to 75. This is a massive risk on servers that have sleep, because at this point, if that door opened, I'd hear it, but it would take, by the time I'd come round, I'd be dead. That's why I have sleep on here, apart from the fact that it causes another problem for everybody. But what I won't do is put on the having to wash to survive one. Hi Ace, welcome to the chat. So I won't put the washing one on because I think that's going too far. The whole idea of having a bar of soap and having to wash yourself to stay clean every day in a survival situation on a server like this, that's not me. Or what I don't want on here. I think it would go too far in the server I'm trying to make. The sleep is enough. It's a hindrance. Though next wipe, we're probably going to have rifle slings, so the only way that you'll be able to have a rifle is to have on your shoulder is to have it slung. So the only way, you'll either have to carry it in your hands or stick it away and not have access to it, or get a rifle sling for it to work when it's on your shoulder. And I realise that people will be like, oh, that's hard, but it's just another mechanic to play with. Let's get the food eaten. Oh, we wanted to heat a bottle up, didn't we? Because a bottle would act to the hot water bottle and keep going. You don't get a lot of meat off foot on these steaks anymore, unfortunately. I wish we did, but that's life. Right, that's now hot and damaged, but that's okay. Just need to make sure it doesn't break. The hotter we can get it, the longer it will last. But I don't like pushing it too far. Another space up there for loot. Pretty good. How many slings will you can carry at once? 2. What I want, well, it depends on what I can get away with on the system. I'd like it to be, I'd like to find a mod that didn't kill things. What I want is, if something's in your backpack, you can't, no, at the moment I can access this AK out my backpack, and I don't think I should be able to. So what I want it to be is, if it's in your backpack, you can't just hotbar it or use it on a hotbar. Hi Fire, welcome. So the rifle slings, I want both shoulders, but what you've got then in your backpack on the outside of a rucksack has to be taken off the rucksack to use it. I don't know yet, but I've got the weapon pack we're putting in next wipe comes with rifle slings, but I would then have to add another mod to make the rifle slings work the way I want them to work. So it really depends on what that offers us. Hi John, welcome back mate. So I've just got to look into that, but I can't. That will happen nearer the time. We're away. We're still 8 weeks away from me, or 7 weeks away from me really worrying, and 8 weeks from building it, and 9 weeks from the wipe. So we've got a long time to go yet, and I'm still chewing over with ideas at the moment. But I certainly want rifle slings in. I think it makes far more sense for the weapon platform to be slung on your body. Out to the chat, if anybody is in there that isn't a normal, is a lurker and is interested in playing sort of a harder-ish server, there should be a link coming on your screen now to this server. Just do a search for a GoblinZ on the DayZ launcher of your choice. You will have camelback Bergens on the next wipe. All the expansion weapons are going, and I'm putting in a weapon pack that also has armour and better rucksacks, but not necessarily massive one. Yes, that's the one I'm looking at, but that's a separate mod. The problem is the sling comes from one mod, and then the way the sling is used comes from another mod, and that's my issue with it. But I do like the idea of a rifle sling because it's the real world. You either carry it in your hands or it's on a sling so you can get access to it quickly. Not, you know, the fact that I can do that, it's inside my Bergen, and then to access it I can press 2, to me feels wrong. I have no idea if I'm going to home to a base or a landmine outside my front door. We were wondering what happened. Run until 5 people dropped out with all my food and water. When we do the next community run, guys, it will be over a Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday to get as many of the community members to play as possible. And we'll be looking at a server that allows 12-man teams or 12-person teams with rotating players, so we can play players in and out. But it will be on there, build base, do what we do, come in when you can, and then leave 4 days later. And Dr. Cookie Monster will be joining us for probably the Friday, maybe the Sunday as well, as long as the time falls right. Bear trap for all of you. Yeah, that sounds right, Bimmy. You and your bear traps. I'm looking at currently one of the things I'm playing with in the background, which you guys, so I'm seeing if I can get it to code, is replacing the heli drops with a different event. But the same, we'll have AI on it still. But one that we build ourselves, which will be just built for our server. Just trying to work out how to do it. I have an idea of how, but I won't know whether I can make it work until I write the code and see if it works. But I do have an infitting idea. Other thing, guys, next wipe, gas attacks on towns will be back. So towns will come under random gas attack, forcing you to decide where to live differently. So building a box in the woods will be far safer than building in a town. And just because vanilla says it's these towns that get attacked, don't believe vanilla. Yeah? Because you know what goblins like. But currently we're pushing for home. Once we get home, we'll sort our lives out, and then we're going to go out and do Northeast Airfield crate, if we can make it there. And then depending on time, we'll move on to the next crate as well. I say depending on time. I've got to be in work at 6:30 tomorrow morning. Someone's coming in to do a D-kit first thing in the morning, so they've left the reserves and I need to get their uniform off them. And the only time they can come in is before they go to work. So I've agreed to go in for 7 o'clock ready to go, but I'll need to print stuff out before I do it. So I'll have to be in early. And the car will then need to be defrosted in the morning, so it means I'll be leaving here at sort of 6:20. Spending 10 minutes swearing at the car. So we don't have airdrops on here. My problem with airdrops is if we have them work all the time, then the solo player that plays when no one else is on the server will learn where the airdrops drop and will just go and meet them and will be OP. They will have the biggest base with the most loot. Just by the very nature of how airdrops work. Whereas if I change it to say there has to be 5 people on the server for the airdrop to work, probably means you never get one, or very rarely get one. And again, it feels like a lot of work for nothing. Whereas I'd like to build an event that happens all over the map, rather than just the heli spawn areas. But I've got to look into it a bit more. I've got some ideas. What I'd like is I'd like the event to be a bit more like Scum, if you know it. So a container that's on the ground that has AI covering it, that has something happen after a few minutes if you haven't opened it, sort of thing. Or half an hour, it counts down, and then after the countdown's finished, something horrible happens. So you need to get in and get out before the horrible shit goes down. That's what I'd like, but it's whether I can do it in the code. So on a positive, today at work I was learning how to write servers, because I've stupidly volunteered for a competition that involves programming, machine learning and AI, and we have to set up the servers ourselves as part of the competition, and I know nothing. So I have 30 hours of training to do before beginning of February, and then I'm going away for a day doing the competition. But today I was sat in a 2-hour lecture trying to set up a Linux server in the US over a secure internet connection from scratch. It was an experience. No, this was with I see what you're saying though. No, this was I was with Amazon Web Services, AWS. Along with 120 other people that are all in the competition, going through training for the competition. Welcome back, John. But I've never set up a server at that level before in my life. So going into, and it is just building blocks and clicking on stuff and saying I want to add this to this and do this with this and make this work until you get a working, and it was only virtual servers we were building in a platform to practice. Monday my training is something else for another equally as a challenging thing, and then I've got a 3-hour session next Wednesday morning. Yeah, though we've been trained on Linux because Linux is more secure than anything else out there, basically. So my organisation will use Linux for that sort of shit. And it's nothing to do with my job role. This is just me volunteering to do something to challenge myself. Because hey, life's boring without challenges. But it's a massive challenge. It's way outside my comfort zone. I'm sat there. They were going through stuff, and a lot of the people that are in this competition will be in teams, but a lot of the others are data scientists, so they know what they're doing, whereas I've never done it. So I was sat there with my headset on, and they were like, right, go here, log in here, go to here, deploy this service. And I was like, whoa, slow down, I've just logged in. Yeah. And they all expected us to have state-of-the-art PCs, whereas I'm a storeman. I have a laptop and a second-hand monitor plugged into it, and I'm working on a Wi-Fi connection, not a fixed line. Yeah, it was a challenge. It's fair to say, it was a challenge. But it's all right. It's good. It's a chat. As I said, it's a challenge, and challenges is good for us. Right, we want a barrow in here. Come on, game. Give me a barrel. Give me a barrel. Give me a barrel. Barrel would have been nice. But home, sort life out. Then off to the airfield to try and do a crate. Also, I may allow you guys to have vanilla building as well as expansion building next wipe. So you could have like a vanilla outer fence, still gate only raiding, and still explosives, but you could do like outer fences in. Do not like that bush right next to my house. Okay, no landmine today. That is locked, isn't it? Good. Plug up. First thing we're going to need is a fire. We're running out of space to store shit. We really are. Will be good code locks to be usable for vanilla gates. Yes, code locks will be usable for vanilla gates. Because I in my head I could see people building a little wooden box like I'm living in now as their HQ, for want of a better word, and then an outer compound wall, metallized, cam nets on it, barbed wire with a swing gate, so then people wouldn't be able to see in and see how big your base is if you don't make it go too high. Oh, the heating went in the house this morning. Currently sitting in the living room wearing a coat. Wow. Hope that gets sorted soon, Sarah's dad. Then that sounds cool. The vanilla walls will be good for a compound. 100% fire, and that's what I want. I think it would work really well. Let's drop off. We need fire, don't we? That's the first thing. Fire is the first problem. So let's get that sorted. Obviously, staying with these storage barrels that we've got on here, I think they work really well for a survival server, even if one of them's a strange cat one. But yeah, medical supplies that I've not got medical supplies inside. I like them. It's the first storage I've found in a long time that actually I like. So, what do we need to drop off? We need to drop off the rifle, because if I've got space for it, this is where the fun will start. If I've got space for it. Because we've got no space for anything. I want to drop that off. So that can go there. That can go there. That can go there. That'll fit in there. Perfect. Now, we don't need to take so many silencers out with us. We do need to take emergency fishing kit. We don't need shotgun ammo. That can go with that. Spare 5.45 is fine. Don't need that. Rations we'll sort out before we go. Spare mag we do need. Now we can move the AK back onto our backs. Freeze up that. That's fishing kit. We don't need two of them. So one of them for fishing kits, fine. Spare 9mm ammo. That's damage, we'll bin that off. Can you put barbed wire or camo nets on walls with the mod you have here for building? Sort of. So it will take, if you've got the window, you can put a camo net. No, you can't actually. That's a lie. You can make barbed wire defences, but you can't fit them on. And I can't change that because I'm not a programmer. because we always wanted it in expansion and they never did the upgrade. Because we wanted it on Windows so you could have a cam there, open the window, and people couldn't see you stood behind it. So no, you can't, is the answer to that. But you can build barbed wire barricades that you deploy on the floor. So you put them on the floor next to places you don't want people walking up to. But obviously we have that in our rules that you can't block off the doors going into base. Because we don't want people using it as a... bases have to be raidable. So next we need to sort out food for this next run. That's a full one. We'll leave behind that one. We'll take the full one, but we'll open it in case we need food in an emergency. Oh, what have we got in this one? We've got chickens, trail mix, whatever that is, chocolate, M&Ms, buffalo hot sauce, cheese spread, and grape juice. Sounds delightful. That's all needed, that's all needed, that's needed, and that's needed. That box needs to be opened. Do not worry, just don't know if I'm missing something. No, it's a limitation to the mod. So that's that done. I'm pretty much good to go. So trader next, but we're not going to trader. We're going to push past trader into the airfield, into HQ, and get that crate opened. Well, that's the aim at least. Pistol can move up to that slot. Because it's daytime, let's make use of some of these cans of drink to get our sleep bar up. Still take all that kit out with us, don't need that. Don't really need the matches. They only get wet anyway. Bring that up. Everything's sort of repaired. We don't have any epoxy, do we? No. That's no use. That's ready to go. That's ready to go, and that's ready to go. Change those mags over. Get that mag fully loaded. Or as much as we can load from what we've got. There we go. Take that up to go with that. Or +1, and we can refill. Okay, I'm happy with that. Nothing like a beer and two sodas before a run. Yeah, exactly. Perfect, isn't it? Let's do it. If I really wanted to be a soldier, it would be a beer, 2 sodas, and some ibuprofen before a run. So yes, certainly Trader will be gone next wipe. And apart from that, that's the main thing that I've been chewing it over for a few wipes. Trader gone, and that Trader there we want. Trader gone, and weapon pack changed. The weapon pack you're getting instead, guys, will have Scar H's and L's. Endgame weapons will be 50 cals, but the Russian semi-automatic 50 cal used by the Russian police or special police forces, which will be your endgame weapon. We're going to up the amount of code locks you're allowed. We're probably going to make all the towns come under random gas attack, so to force you not to live in towns. Small villages will be fine, but small villages, your base is more likely to be seen, so it becomes more of a risk. We're probably going to increase the amount of gas attacks. Rather than there's 2 towns at all time under gas attack, we might turn that to 4. So it really does up the pressure on staying out of big towns. Best weapons will be obviously in the crate system. We're going to up the crate system because there's no trader, so there'll be a different route through with different crates that will end up being, rather than explosives and weapons, we'll still have that, and then we'll have another crate system that goes to base building. But probably maybe it will be in the same place, so when you get to the end of the crate system you will have 3 crates in front of you, and you'll have to decide then which of the 3 crates you open, and they'll randomly move the loot amongst all 3 crates each wipe or each restart. So unless you basically, you need to guarantee to get what you want, you would need to repeat the initial set of missions 3 times and then do the last mission with 3 keys. So you could open up all 3 crates and then choose what to take home. But to help offset it, you're getting better armor, you're getting better rucksacks, you're getting better helmets if you get access to them. A few more points of interest. We're going to move to a summer wipe, a hot summer wipe. Long grass, certainly, you know, like half a metre tall grass. High heats, probably an oil rig to get to with a crate system on, but you'll be able to swim out to it. Maybe there'll be a problem on the oil rig for you to deal with. And there'll just be one, and I know where it's going, but I'm not going to tell you yet. You'll find out at the time. We'll probably get rid of the treasure, because I think it's conflicting with the stashes that comes as part of the chests, and I think the stashes from chests are better because they're more random. But we'll keep survivor missions in. The problem I have with extra storage is what I would like is MMG, the stuff that you make yourself. But every time we've tried to make it work, it fails. And I don't know what I'm doing wrong, if that makes sense. If I could make it work and make it last for 12 weeks at a time, we'd have MMG and have you make your own storage. Because I like that idea. But potentially we're going to add in a recipe that allows you to turn metal into barrels yourself. So if you had, I don't know how many, but we'll argue and say 5 sheets of metal plus a pair of pliers, you could turn that into a barrel. Or you could turn a barrel plus pliers into 4 sheets of metal to upgrade your outer wall. Something like that. But the barrel mod that we've got on seems to work really well. It isn't disappearing, it just seems to work. And that I like. I'm reluctant to add in other mods that I don't know whether they'll work or not until we're like 2 weeks into wipe, and then I have to stop the server, take them off, apologise to everybody, offer compensation to people that have lost stuff. It's quite unprofessional. Where I'd rather... at the moment, touch wood, we've been about 2 weeks now without any major issues on the server, which means it's pretty stable at the moment. Whereas a lot in the past we've had problems all the time. So I'm trying to get us to a point where, apart from major BI updates, we can just launch a server and it works. It does work on so many servers, that's the trouble, Bimmy. So there's something in the settings that I'm not doing right. That's the problem. And until I can work out what that is, we're damned. And also we use expansion base building. So I'd need to put in another mod to allow expansion code locks to work on MMG. And then I'd need to put in another mod to allow raiding of MMG. Which is all things that, at the moment, we don't have that problem. So that's 2 other mods we don't need. So again, it's something I have to think about, because I don't want to end up with us having like 50 mods on the server. Because I know it puts people off when they're looking at servers to join. A long list of mods. So it's a balancing act. So, you know, if it didn't put people off, I could add in hundreds of mods. You know, actually, arguably, is it 128 mods you can have on a server before it falls over now? Or 121, something like that. But it wouldn't be able to handle it. We don't have enough RAM or fast enough processor on here. So there's a few things I know I need to do. And I'm still playing with... Basically, I have a work in progress document of which I start building up what I'm going to do next wipe. And then I test things in by just downloading the mod and looking at what it offers. And I play with ideas and I look at our mod list and think, what have we got now that we don't need? What doesn't work the way I want it to work? What could we lose? What can we gain? If I put in a negative thing, what can I do to help people on the other side? I realise people would like bigger rucksacks. I have a difficulty with that, but maybe some different rucksacks would work just as well. I like the idea of rifle slings, but I understand players will find that difficult. But it's not so bad, you know, thinking that in the real world, yes, you could have a weapon on either shoulder that you could get to quickly. A weapon tied to your rucksack you couldn't get to quickly. So I don't really have an issue with that. I wouldn't mind putting in, there's a mod out there that doesn't let you access your rucksack unless you take it off your back. I quite like that idea. Because, again, it's realistic. Forces players to think differently. But I realise by taking out Trader, that's going to be a big one. Because some of our players loot up, run the Trader, sell everything, buy what they need. Me included, because it's easy, it's there, it's available. So if we take Trader out, which we're going to, I then need to make sure that players have access to base building tools and have access to code locks and nails without it being... It has to be hard, but it can't be impossible. So it is just a balancing act all the time, and it's hard going. I have to think... You guys that play this all the time... Hi, Tin Man. You guys that play this all the time, you're one side of it, and you enjoy, hopefully, sorry, you endure, hopefully, what I've given you to play, the sandbox to play in. But also, what about new players? If you've never played GoblinZ and you're looking for a survival server and you search for a survival and you see GoblinZ and you join it, is it too much? Yeah, one of the things I'd like to do is get, when you press pause, I used to be able to put like instructions in there, some hints, some quick help guides, but they've updated server information panel and I can't get it to work anymore. I'd like to get that working again, because then I could have the welcome message being press pause for information. People press pause and it says things like you need a fire, or you need this, or no traders. Yeah, very basic solo server, no teams allowed. If you want a map, if you want to press M for your map, you need to find a map first. If you can't find a map, go and find a priest. Yeah, stuff like that. Priest will show you the way if you can't find a map. Yeah, stuff like that. It would be really nice to have that in there, so then when people come in that have never played the server before, they're not so frustrated. They get what we're trying to do. The bit about fishing, you can rip up clothes with your hands, which is a biggie. So if that was in there and it said you can rip clothes up with your hands, 12 rags, 2 stacks of 6 rags combined make rope. Rope will allow you to fish. You need to fish within the first 45 minutes to stay alive, or you need food within the first 45 minutes to stay alive. That might be enough to keep more players. Because some of you, me included, will come on and just keep plugging away till you learn it. But you'd like some of the others to give it a go. You know, do we need AI on helicopters? Or could I handle helicopters in a different way, put on a different threat? Or if we get rid of helicopters, the helicopter event, and do something different, could I do it without AI so we lose that mod, which then frees up more resources for other things? So they're all things I'm looking at. And I know what I would replace AI with. I'm not telling you now. I think you would like it. Well, sorry, rephrase that. You wouldn't like it. But you'd understand it. But I don't know whether it still works, what I'm thinking of. It did about 4 years ago when I last ran it. But also I want to be able to do the wipe in 3 hours. I want to be able to take the server down at 12 o'clock on a Friday, get everything updated and up again. Hi there, D. Welcome back. And get everything then back up running by 6 o'clock at night UK time. So you lose the server for 3 hours only, and then you're back in and going. So I don't want to put in anything too complex that I can't do in 3 hours. Because I don't want us to have no server for a week ever again. Yeah. Okay, thank you, Tin Man. So that shouldn't be happening. So for some reason, the AI is not working then. Thank you for letting me know. I need to look into that. So we had an AI update, but expansion notes said I didn't need to worry about any of the settings. Everything would still work perfectly fine. But obviously they weren't telling the strict truth. Yeah, the AI should still be forming on helis. So that I'll need to fix. And arguably, could we look at maybe going to base building plus? And if we went to base building plus, we then have to have the different code lock mod and the different explosive mod. So that's, we have to add in 3 mods to replace 1. But then you don't need to do vanilla building anymore, because you could do the tiered stuff within BBP. But then I need to then spawn in concrete mixers. And if we then have concrete mixers, would I want expansion AI guarding the concrete mixers maybe? Rather than on helis? So when you wanted to get to a tier 3 base, you'd have to fight the AI to get to a concrete mixer to use. And then players would hear that battle and might come and take part. Because that could work quite well. But again, I've got that 3 hours, so some stuff is quite easy to do, and I can have it all prepared beforehand. Loot crates, new spawns, new weapons in loot crates, all that stuff is done beforehand. It's not a problem. But stuff like that, with the spawning and setting up of AI on them, I can have probably one big mod, of which I've got 3 hours to get working. I can't have multiple. So if we went to BB Plus, that would be our one big mod that we've got 3 hours to get working, basically. But then we need to think about flag. Do we go for a vanilla flag? Make people make the flag from scratch? Because whenever we've used easy flag, they've not been good. We can't have plot pole because I can't afford to pay the money it costs to buy it from the mod that has it. And we don't make enough on the server to make it worthwhile. Basically, it would double my... It wouldn't double, but it would add an extra £150 a year, roughly, to the cost of the server to have a plot pole rather than a flag. And I'm not doing that. So they're all things that, as much as I would love to have them, you have to balance it. But it's alright. I really enjoy making servers for you guys and for me. I love giving something back to the community. And I'm really glad you guys play it and enjoy it. Right guys, just going to go firm a second. Just need to have a conversation a second guys. I'll be right back. Right guys, good news. We're going to jump across to Aftermath because Cookie's on and join him on Aftermath. But to do that, I'm going to have to stop my stream and start it again with a different image and a different description. So the stream will come down. I'll be down for a couple of minutes and then we'll go back and then it will come back up again as a new stream. And at that point, we will join Dr. Cookie Monster on Aftermath. So I will see you all again in a couple of minutes, guys, hopefully.